Alright, let's look at astromonix. I've got today loaded up. Here's how I'm using it right now. This mini map, this 2D chart, you can move around like this now. You can also just minimize it. You can look around. You can see I've got minor aspects showing as well as the major. It's a big web. You can see all of them right here in the aspects. I pressed O on the keyboard to do that. Same with the planets for P. I for interpretations. Basic interpretations. As well as the houses. So this is what I do. We load up a chart. F and C, forward and backward, to focus in orbital order between the planets to see more specifically what's going on. So let's go back to the sun. 19 degrees Aquarius, Sabian symbol, a large white dove bearing a message. Messenger, divine communication. Also the nakshatra it's in. What is that? Danishta? I don't know how to say it, but that's what it is. Basic archetype for the sun and Aquarius. Interpretation by default is not showing because it's better for you to just synthesize it yourself. Here's more information on the Sabian symbol. This is still kind of generic, but it helps too. I kind of prefer that too. You should seek out real astrologers and real Sabian symbol people for that kind of insight. But I also wanted to have it there enough to, get the message. Planetary strength. I might work on this and make it less of a giant section. Anyway, I've got all this information for each planet. You can also see the aspects, whatever the aspects are. On the 2D chart, all the other glyphs fade opacity, so you're just seeing the main planet you're focused on and the planets that it's aspecting. Same thing out here, you can kind of see it does that here too. There's the moon right now. Wow. 10 degrees Scorpio. A drowning man is being rescued. How long has it been since I loaded this chart? Press N, the N key, to load up right now. So yeah, the moon's gone another degree. Let's do that again. Okay, I need to work on that. There's a bug. It was still focused on the moon, but the camera didn't jump back to the moon focus camera angle yet. But it did acknowledge that it was still focused on the moon. That's a note for myself. An official embassy ball. The next degree. This is where the moon is now, still in Scorpio. You can see its aspects. I still haven't gotten all interpretations in, especially for minor aspects. I mean, I don't know. All missing pieces is a place for us to maybe think about and learn. Anyway, go through planet to planet. Let's take our time. North Node, 10 degrees Pisces, men traveling a narrow path, seeking illumination. The dragon's head. The South Node up here in Virgo, A boy molded in his mother's aspirations for him. Molded child. Expectations and identity formation. It's interesting thinking about that in regards to all the Aquarius stuff that is at a... hold on. Cat outside. Anyway. Aquarius, the society, the whole earth, human culture, how we've been molded. South Node, where we're coming from and where we're going, seeking a path of illumination. There's gotta be a better way to live. An eagle in the vertex, this fated vortex, an eagle and a large white dove turning into each other. Integration, the integrator. In the Chitra, in Libra, this is in Libra. This gem, this jewel that shines, it's bright. In the anti-vertex, man possessed of more gifts than he can hold. In Aries, overwhelmed gift bearer, overwhelmed and prioritization, the curse of the gifted kid. Mercury, 3 degrees Pisces, heavy car traffic on a narrow isthmus linking 2 seaside resorts. A coordinator, social cooperation, all the cars going between 2 places, resorts, but they're seaside. Are they traveling over the waters? Or next to the waters? Here's Venus right next to Mercury, a tree felled and sawed to ensure a supply of wood for the winter. Provider, preparation, Venus in Aquarius. Preparing, social cooperation, in preparation. Aquarius, Mars, the humanitarian, a barometer, weather watcher, and anticipation. Is everyone seeing what the fuck's going on right now? Is it being heard? Hear that in the hearing? Okay. Wow, all 3 of these, they're in different nakshatras. They're so close to each other, but different nakshatras still. 100 healers for Mercury. Venus, wealthiest. Sharp. And hearing. Here we have Lilith, 4 degrees Sagittarius. An old owl up in a tree. Wise one in wisdom. Here we have Ceres in Aries, 17 degrees, an empty hammock. Nurturing, nourishment, rest, and restoration. Seems to be an important theme right now. With all of the issues and problems we've got in the world. Yeah, it makes sense the Ceres up here would be like reminding us like, hey, you got to rest. You have to like be able to rest to balance out everything else that's going on. We also have Chiron right here next to her. See that? Next in orbital order, Pallas Athene. She's in Pisces, 4 degrees. A church bazaar, a strategy, spiritual community builder or building. A space where people can get together, a strategy. This is all very social theme. Same nakshatra as Mercury. Juno in Capricorn. Partnership, commitment, sacred union. 14 degrees Capricorn in a hospital. The children's ward is filled with toys, caregiver, compassion. a safe space. Not only a safe space, but an expressive place. Children's world, all the toys, it includes all the art supplies. Sometimes, why play with toys when you can sit yourself down on a table with surrounded by art supplies and just start drawing, just listen to music or whatever. Maybe this. What is this in regards to the social stuff? We can do this together. Is this part of... Let's see, what are the aspects? Semi-sextile with Mars, semi-square with Venus, square to Juno in the rest. So I guess that's part of the conflict or the challenge. You got to learn to rest, but you need to learn how to structure. Maybe you need to learn how to structure your own space for rest, your own safety ward of, like, safe for your inner child to, like, just play or create. You know what I mean? Next in line, Vesta. Let's do that again. Vesta. 15 degrees Aquarius. The big businessman at his desk. Authority, executive. Vesta. A sacred focus, devotion. Keeping the flame going. Keepers of the flame. Something about business at the desk, the authority. Now, this can probably play out in all of the ways. People who think they're authority, but they're actually like a horrible, crappy, false authority. Or like maybe your individual self, your authority, like recognizing your sovereign being in a proper authority that isn't trying to be like a domineering fascist loser. You're not suffering from the Hitler effect. Real authority, you know what I mean? Anyway, sacred flame. This is here in the Aquarius section with all the other stuff. Estrella, here in Capricorn, 25 degrees. More authority. A nature spirit dancing in the midst of a waterfall. Nature spirit, nature connection, justice, purity, the moral clarity. She's got clues in her scales. Dancing with nature. Language. The latter invincible, Uttara Ashada. Fixed air. It's interesting, that's Aquarian, but this is Capricorn. Joyful, the joyful connection with spirit. And the Capricorn modality. It's making me think of Pan. Capricorn's a sea goat. How would a sea goat communicate or be with, or be similar creature to Pan? Or the green face, the man in the trees. Anyway, Hygeia, 25 degrees Gemini. Winter frost in the woods. Winter reflector, reflection and stillness. Hygeia, preventative health, sacred hygiene. This is where hygiene comes from. Archetypally, this is what she's about. She's the goddess that tells you to, like, hey, if you brush your teeth and wash and, just take care of your health regularly, then you won't have much issue in, like, greater health issues. You won't deteriorate into a larger problem. So what is she doing? She's in winter frost in the woods. She's reflecting in stillness. Maybe that is part of the hygiene, is that this is a time for reflection, stillness. Look at all these aspects in context. Trine with the vertex. What is that with the moon? Sesquiquadrate. You see what I mean, no? It shows here and it shows there. Let's move on. Jupiter, 16 degrees Cancer. The seed grows into knowledge and life. Seed nurturer, growth and development. Jupiter is expansion, is gift, and the wisdom. Opposing a lot of, well, it's been opposing the transits this past little while. Now it's more of a trine. This harmonic fluctuation, is it all goes over here. Still opposing Juno, the safe space. Return of light. Saturn, 29 degrees Pisces, almost up here into Aries, just about. You can see that. This is how I kind of visualize the houses as well. The subconscious, kind of this portal, this threshold of scale into the first house. This isn't how the system shows it. This is still Aries up here, but that's just kind of a side note. It's how I visualize the houses as well before I made this website. Anyway, Pisces, majestic rock formation resembling a face, is idealized by a boy who takes it as his ideal of greatness, and as he grows up begins to look like it. Aspirations, the final degree of Pisces, the dream, the vision is at the end, but the vision is seen and can be embodied through the full story. We're in for a new story, new era. Chiron, here's Chiron, up here, chilling with Eris and Ceres. Chiron at 22 degrees Aries, a woman in pastel colors carrying a heavy and valuable but veiled load. Graceful burden bearer, responsibility and protection. In Revati, this wealth, this nakshatra of wealth in nourishment, like wealthy in nourishment. The responsibility. Let's see what's Chiron in all these aspects. They all seem kind of conflicted. And in the world, we're kind of in a storm. There's also Eris. So let's see what's going on next in the list. We'll get there later. We're on Uranus, 27 degrees Taurus, a mature woman reawakened to romance. Renewed romantic renewal and romance. Innovation, freedom, awakening. Reawaken to romance. Is it strictly in the context of like a relationship? Or could it be something more symbolic? Uranus, this radical inspiration, revolutionary, has been retrograding. This great trine to Pluto, and the squares to the planets in Aquarius over here. You can probably hear I'm scrolling to zoom in out, and I'm also using the keyboard, the WASD keys, just so you can do this on your own time, your own way. I think Uranus has been seeding, reawakening a romance to maybe on the other side of the systems that hold us. Like this part of this like revolutionary reawakening is romance of a better life, a life that isn't any systemic form of slavery, etc. Neptune, 0 degrees Aries. A woman has risen out of the ocean. A seal is embracing her. Emergent spirit, transformation, and emergence. Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra. Element, yeah, what the cat said. Element water, quality fixed, deity, Ahir Budnya. I need to change that color, I can't read it. Meaning, ladder, blessed feet. Neptune, the imagination, the transcendence. The vision is already in the new beginning. Saturn is just about to match, but is also in a way already there. This fluid web we're all living in, it's already there. Here's Pluto, 2 degrees Aquarius, a deserter from the Navy to rebel, personal freedom. Pluto is the transformation, the power of transformation, to rise out of the ashes. This is Scorpio. This is shadow work planet. This is a big part. This is a big one for that. All the shit that we suffer and the trauma. The power of Pluto is the power to rise back up out of the ashes. Also, it's just like ruling the underworld. This is Hades. You can see I've got the divine archetypes here. I forgot to even mention this. Hades, got a little stories, as well as Hell, Persephone, little information on them. You can read that up on your own time. Haumea, 3 degrees Scorpio, a youth holding a lighted candle in a devotional ritual. Haumea, goddess of fertility, natural birth, and cyclical regeneration. This is a goddess of, think of like a goddess of, she seeds birth, like she might have more of a genius seeding of life than we know about. I don't know. Oops. Fertility of devotion, cyclical regeneration. The moon's just passed, she's still conjunct with her, and she is trining, looks like Venus and the North Node, or no, that is Pallas, pretty sure. Yes, Pallas Athene and the North Node are trine with Haumea. And it looks like I can just do this and read it. Square with Pluto. Trine with Venus. Okay, Venus included. Opposing Eris. Square with Estrella. Trine Mercury. What's next on the list? Make. 12 degrees Libra. Children blowing soap bubbles. Childhood joy. Innocent joy of blowing bubbles and just like enjoying it, the innocence of it. Has to nakshatra. This is Make. Creation, fertility, similar to Haumea, but this is different. Creation. This is the creator. I guess this is kind of more of like a masculine fertility, creative power, regenerative power, deity. At least this is how I'm starting to understand it. These archetypes of divine creation. You could say masculine, feminine. Would you believe it? I've got Neptune in the 3rd house. All right. And Saturn. Here's Eris, finally. 26 degrees. Aries. Through imagination, a lost opportunity is regained. This is her golden apple. This is her clue. Preposterous to the narcissistic egos of the other goddesses who think that it belongs to them, that they really got it, and that you know, the one story ever told about Eris. The one story ever told. There's a lot more to a woman than one story. Horse-like, Ashwini. This is interesting. Context of we're entering the year of Fire Horse. But Eris, her chaos is not purely chaotic, because it is discord to egos. It seems discordian, but her chaos is an ever-present truth and has a role to play in equilibrium and the balance of all things. Awakening and radical truth. Doodle-doo-doo. Sorry about that. Is very important. And she is here to remind us of things. Creative opportunity, redemption and recovery. It's interesting seeing her suggesting this, despite the chaos, with Chiron and Ceres in Aries. Not to mention Neptune, not exactly conjunct, but in Aries. You see what I mean? Finally, Sedna. 5 degrees Gemini. Workmen drilling for oil. Resources driller. Pursuit and extraction. Sedna, a goddess of isolation, survival, and deep transformation after abandonment, after, well, they tried to save her. Her father tried. As far as I understand her story, it's right here. You can read about it. You can think of her as a ultra-generational civilization cycle planet. She's trine with Make. And what is that? Quincux, Haumea. She's opposing Lilith. She's trine with Pluto and Mars over here. if you can hear beyond my keyboard. And she is square Mercury and Pallas Athene and the nodes. Minor aspects over here. Looks like a sextile with Neptune. And what is that? Semi-square with Chiron. Alright, that's all the planets in orbital order. Orbital order. That's what this website is for. Try it out for yourself. This is today. I think it's better to tap into your own natal chart, whatever it is. Say you were born, let's pretend you were born in November 23rd in the year 1077 in Delhi, India. You must be a vampire of some kind, or your natural tea diet is like that one guy, I forget his name. There was a guy in China who lived to be 200 something, and yet he was like a master of tea leaves, and he just lived out in the mountains and stuff. I forget his name. Anyway, let's say you're like that, born in 1077. Here's your chart. You can do the same thing for yourself. Ooh, Sun conjunct Mars, Mercury, and Venus. Dang. And Sagittarius and Scorpio. Oh, wow. What else we got? Moon is Scorpio. See what I mean? It's fun if you give yourself the chance. Have fun. Good luck. Drink more water.